Shalom, shalom, Israel. First off, giving all honor and praises to the Most High and to His Son Yahweh Shah. Shalom to brothers and sisters in the chat. Shalom to brothers and sisters online. Got Officer Barakaya, Sister Jenna, Soldier Renoir. Shalom, shalom. And the brothers and sisters that are tuning in. They say had a great feast of dedication. We ended it out last night. Oh boy, we had a great time. Great time, man. Shalom to you, brothers and sisters. And that's what I'm about to do. Hold on real quick. Shalom, shalom. How you feeling, man? Feeling better?
Yeah, I feel a lot better, man.
Man, you sound better. Yeah. I was finna call you before class. Make sure, just checking on your main.
Yeah, I had to go so he
Okay, all praise, huh? Yeah, I'll hit you back in a little bit.
Yeah, I'm on class.
All right, shalom.
Nice, love.
Yeah, come. Shalom, brothers and sisters. Mother Mariah. Shalom, sis. Yeah, I'm just calling Captain Jerubal. Y'all make sure y'all throw up Captain Yara, throw up some prayers. He was under the weather yesterday. I could see he went in class and couldn't attend the ball, man. He had a few brothers and sisters that was sick. I know Soldier Dog, he was out, man. Pretty much like the same symptoms. Y'all make sure y'all throw up those prayers for brothers and sisters, man. Brother Asher, his daughter. It's a lot going on in Israel, man. Those are the things that we have to persevere through. Salaki, brothers and sisters. What you say, Sister Jenna? You say your mom gets on your nerves with your nephew sometimes. This personality where she have a mood, she don't want to listen to anything. She just kept on. A lot of times, sometimes as people get older, sometimes they do lose patience. Sometimes they do. Yeah, I do too, Brother Lamar. Sure, I'm pretty sure brothers and sisters all over do, man. Being sick ain't no joke, man. It just ain't. That's why we got to constantly pray for one another as a nation of people, man. Stand in the spirit. Read that too. Let's go to the book of Sirach. Y'all should already know the classic, man. Like I say, when any situation come up, just remember there's always precepts for those particular situations, man. Always. Precepts that brothers and sisters can meditate on, read on. Precepts about being patient, by perseverance, by being diligent, by being temperate, being less emotional. It's precepts on all those things, man. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 38. And we'll start at verse number 1. And it reads, honor a physician with the honor due unto him, for the uses which he may have of him, for the Lord had created him. So we know that the Most High God puts the spirit on these doctors. The Most High God is in control of all these things. Verse 2, for of the Most High cometh healing. Meaning it's pivotal that brothers and sisters throw up prayers for one another. It's pivotal that the person that is sick throwing up prayers, praying to the Most High that he take that sickness away. It says, for of the Most High cometh healing, and he shall receive honor of the king. The skill of the physician shall lift up his head, and in the sight of great men he shall be in admirations. The Lord had created medicines out of the earth, and he that is wise will not abhor them. So we see Most High God, he created these medicines. Yes, we know that Esau have taken control over these things. But remember, he have no power unless the Most High God is giving it to him. And as we read further on down, guess what? The Most High God controls their hands. That's why it's pivotal for us to keep the commandments so the Most High God could put it on their spirit to deal righteously with us. Let's keep reading. The Lord had created medicines out of the earth, and he that is wise will not abhor them. Was not the water made sweet with wood, that the virtue thereof might be known? Even when the Most High God had the children of Israel going through the wilderness, he gave us water, he gave us bread, he gave us clothing. He gave us water that was drinkable because he told us to do what? Put this particular type of wood in there so we can be able to have water to sustain us. So we know that the Most High God has these particular characteristics. He understands the virtues of plants and of roots. Why? Because he created those things. You know, he created all these things that we see and that we use as a nation. Verse 6, it says, and he had given men skill that he might be honored in his marvelous works. With such that he heal men and taketh away their pains. So we know ultimately when brothers and sisters are in the spirit, the Most High God can take that sickness away from you. He can take that away from you, and guess what? Bring you back to health. Verse 8, of such doth the apothecary make a confection, and of his works there is no end. And from him is peace over all the earth. Meaning the Most High God puts it on the spirit of these particular men to do what? To create medicines. It's going into apothecary. Verse 9, my son, in thy sickness be not negligent, but pray unto the Lord, and he will make thee whole. So that's something that we have to remember. The Most High God is the one that can make us whole by us doing what? Keeping the commandments and throwing up prayers to the Most High. It says, leave off from sin and order thy hands aright and cleanse thy heart from all wickedness. Give a sweet savor and a memorial of fine flour and make a fat offering as not being. Then give place to the physician, for the Lord had created him. Let him not go from thee, for thou hast need of him. There is a time where in their hands there is good success. And that's the point. These things are only possible if brothers and sisters are staying in the spirit, repenting, staying away from sin. Let me jump down. Let me just keep reading verse 14. For they shall also pray unto the Lord, that he will prosper that which they give for ease and remedy to prolong life. Verse 15 is the point. He that sinneth before his maker, let him fall into the hands of the physicians. So that's something that we have to be careful about, because we know sometimes the Most High God judges us by bringing upon us sickness, financial problems, family problems, job problems. There's many different afflictions that the Most High God can pull from his arsenal. So it's pivotal that we stay in the spirit as a nation of people and pray for brothers and sisters that are sick out here, man. It's pivotal, man. Let's go to the book of First Peter's, the fervent prayer, James. Who knows that precept? Shalom, shalom, Sister Keo, shalom. Shalom, Brother Black, shalom, Brother Moses. How you feeling, huh? Let me know how y'all feeling, man. Because I know we had a great time last night at the dedication, man. I'm talking about a great time. I know brothers and sisters probably didn't leave to about 3, maybe 3:30 or 4. Hell, I know that because we left by 2:30. And I don't normally stay out that late. Shalom, Brother Keith, how you doing, huh? But yeah, that's the thing, man. I mean, we had a great time. You know, a great time. We missed Captain Yara up in that thing. I'd say he had a question right quick. Let's go to it. Let's go to the book of Sirach, chapter 25 and 26. Remember the book of Sirach, chapter 25 and 26. A lot of times people try to use this to say that they can divorce. But remember, at that time, the Most High God was giving us grace. But Christ gave us the understanding. So whenever you feel like it's confusion in the scriptures, go to what Christ says. That's where the understanding ultimately draws the line. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 25 and verse number 26. And it reads, if she go not as thou wouldest have her, cut her off from thy flesh and give her a bill of divorce and let her go. This is going into when you have a wicked wife, when they out of the spirit, so on and so forth. At this particular time, the Most High God was allowing us to do what? To divorce. But Christ gave us the understanding, even in the law. Christ gave us the true understanding of these things. So let's go to the law. Let's go to the book. What I want? Exodus. Deuteronomy. Bear with me. Somebody put that precept in the chat so we know. At a time we were divorcing. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 24, in verse number 1. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 24, verse 1, and it reads, when a man had taken a wife and married her, and it come to pass that he find no favor in his eyes, because he had found some uncleanness in her, then let him write her a bill of divorcement. Get my other scripture like it. Deuteronomy chapter 24 and verse 1 again from the top. This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 24 and verse 1. When a man had taken a wife and married her, and it come to pass that she find no favor in his eyes, because he had found some uncleanness in her, then let him write her a bill of divorcement and give it in her hand and send her out of his house. So during the time of Moses, like we say, the Most High God allowed us to do certain things. Like in this instance, we were allowed at this particular time to put away our wives if he didn't like certain things that she did, if she didn't get totally in order. And the Most High God allowed this because he knew we were just coming out of Egypt. We knew that we had to shake a lot of things that we dealt with as a nation of people. So he allowed us that certain grace. But when we got to Christ, remember, Christ is the master teacher. Christ explains it. He explains it perfectly. Let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 19. So whenever you feel like it's confusion, the Old Testament with the New Testament, or what scriptures say, always go to what Christ say. Christ gets the final say. Well, we know the Most High God gets the final say, but that trickles down to Christ because they're on one accord. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 19 and verse number 4, and it reads, let me start at verse number 3. The book of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 3. The Pharisees also came unto him, tempting him, and saying unto him, is it lawful for a man to put away his wife for every cause? So we know the Pharisees was always trying to tempt Christ and catch him up in the scriptures. Let's see what Christ said. And he answered and said unto them, have ye not read that he which made them at the beginning made them male and female, and said, for this cause shall a man leave father and mother, and shall cleave to his wife, and they twain shall be one flesh. Meaning comes a time when a man, guess what, gets his own things, become independent, grows up as a man, then get a wife. You leave your mother and your father's house. He's no married being inside the house. No. When you start to become a man, you need to have all these things in order. Then you get a wife. Many times we have brothers and sisters doing these things totally out of order. And a lot of times it's not a good transition into their marriage. We've done seen it on many occasions. Verse number 6. Wherefore are they no more twain, but one flesh, meaning they should both be on one accord. What therefore God had joined together, let no man put asunder. So the Most High God is letting us know through Christ, he didn't have us set up for divorce. Verse number 7. Then say unto him, why did Moses then command to give a writing of divorcement and to put her away? Saying the same thing we just read in Sirach chapter 25 and 26. Verse 8, this is the reason, this is the answer. He said unto them, Moses, because of the hardness of your hearts, suffered you to put away your wives. Meaning the Most High God allowed that because they was very hard-hearted, meaning very stubborn, very stiff-necked. And if he had not been strictly enforcing the laws, man, he would have put a lot of Israelites to death, maybe the whole nation. So he suffered us at that time to do these things. But Christ was letting us At the beginning, it was not like that. It was no such thing as divorce. Christ is clearing it up. Let's keep reading. He said unto them, Moses, because of the hardness of your heart, suffered you to put away your wives. But from the beginning, it was not so. Verse 9. And I say unto you, whosoever shall put away his wife, except it be for fornication, and shall marry another, committed adultery. So Christ is clearing it up, saying there's no such thing as divorce except for fornication, meaning sexual sins. A wife stepped out on her marriage, a man steps out on his marriage. He's clearing it up. So when we read about these things, remember, Sirach was just according to the law of Moses, but Christ clears it up in the New Testament. You understand it up? Come, Officer Barakai, right on point. Shalom, Abraham, shalom, twin, shalom, Ox. So you clear on that out? Even like Brother Lamar put in the chat, Hebrews chapter 13, verse 4, the classic marriage is honorable in all. Great precept, great follow-up precept to home in the point. It's the book of Hebrews chapter 13, verse 4. Marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled. But whoremongers and adulterers God will judge, because we know ultimately that is grounds for divorce. You just cannot put away your wife for any reason because she burnt the rice, or she burnt your toast, or because she didn't press your shirt the way that you wanted to. That's why you should have properly proved that sister. That's why that sister should have properly proved that brother, because now you're finding out things about them that you may not can get over. You may not can deal with. That's when we say in the scriptures, when it's pivotal that you prove a friend, that's exactly what happens. You know, because you find out things all the time that you may not like about them. And you know, you find out that you cannot reconcile those things, man, all the time. But marriage is an honorable thing. And us as a nation of people, we know that, guess what? Our marriages as so-called black people in America don't last. Why? Because we're not instilling God's laws into our people. And we don't fear the judgments that come behind that. Think that we can just, guess what, get married and not work through those problems. We know a lot of times women get emotional, especially in this time, because we know that they are the number one, most of the time, 90% of the time, that's initiating the divorce. And guess what? They just can't initiate that divorce because guess what? He's getting on them. He's saying things that she don't want to hear. He may have raised his voice a little bit. You know, those are not grounds for divorce. It's our job to do what? To work through those problems by using the scriptures. And since the scriptures are not instilled in our families anymore, hey, we're not willing to put in the fight. And a lot of times, who suffers that the most? The children. You know, that's why our neighborhoods is in disarray. No men in the house, no two-parent homes together. It's a lot of disarray in us as a nation and as a community of people that this thing is getting out of order, man. You know, we have YNs. Why in the hell do we have YNs? We should have IFs, Israelite families. That's the goal. Even like I put up in there, 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 39. These are all precepts concerning what marriage is and how we overcome those things in a marriage. You just cannot put away your wife just because you want to, man. It's not according to the scriptures. This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 1, and it reads, now concerning the things whereof you wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, meaning if you just got that itch to scratch, hey, don't sin, find you a wife. There's nothing wrong with getting married. There's nothing wrong with not being married to do the work of the Lord. But we know that, guess what, strong marriages mean for a strong nation of people. Verse 2 again, nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. Let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence. And that due benevolence is us protecting, providing, teaching our wives, and vice versa. A wife should be a helpmeet unto her husband. That's why the women were created. And a lot of times sisters don't like to hear that role, but they do it all the time. don't know. A lot of times, like you say, it's just so easy for sisters to guess what? Be that nurturing spirit, to always have things done for their husbands, because that's really their natural roles. And they do it so naturally. And a lot of times sisters cannot put the pieces of the puzzle together to know that that was instilled in their spirit from the beginning. And we have a lot of times with this feminist movement, they don't like that. A woman catering to her husband. They look at it as a slave, or being like Kizzy. Not Kizzy, but what's the color purple? Sealy. No. We ain't saying that Mr. was a good man, a good husband, because he wasn't, But every brother out here ain't no damn mister. Come on, man. Especially men that are supposed to be keeping the commandments of the Most High. You're not just going to treat your wife any type of way. But everyone does have their roles. The role of a wife is not the role of a husband, and vice versa. And a lot of times marriages go astray because what? They don't know the roles. They do not know the roles. Shalom, brother Match. How you doing? And that's it. Like I said, first her is to find an Israelite sister in the spirit. That is the first thing. Now we tell brothers and sisters, man. First, you want to make sure that you're finding an Israelite sister, and vice versa with a sister, finding an Israelite brother. Next thing you want to do is make sure that you properly prove her. First thing you ultimately want to do is make sure that you are in the spirit, that you are on a good foundation to teach and to guide that sister. You want to kind of weigh it in the balance. You want to know how many years you have been in the truth and how many years that sister have been in the truth. It wouldn't be showing wisdom if you're trying to get with a sister that have been 3 months in the truth. She don't know her roles. She still have to shake off that old woman. She still has to know what her role is according to the Bible. You still have to know what your role is according to a husband. So it's a lot of things that go on with that. Shalom, Brother Dunn Israel. Shalom, Sister Mary Houston, House of Brother Daniel. Shalom to you, brothers and sisters. Like I said, Proverbs chapter 15, chapter 5, verse 15 through 19, talking about your wife just as Ecclesiasticus. Let's get there right quick. But did you understand that, brother Blacks? Because I know a lot of times brothers bring that up, but remember, Christ gives us the true understanding on that. Yeah, man, you remember, there's always two sides to that. You got them doing that thing in wickedness, but you got the other side of us doing it in righteousness. So don't even pay that no mind, man. Esau ain't in the right spirit to be doing that anyway. That's total madness. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 5, verse 15, and it reads, "Drink waters out of thine own cistern, and running waters out of thine own well." So this is the Most High going into a deep parable about drinking knowledge from your people. And it goes many folds, dealing with your own people as well, because we know waters are what's symbolic for nations as well. Cisterns is going into wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Says, "Let thy fountains be dispersed abroad, and rivers of water in the streets. Let them let them only be thine own, and not strangers with thee. Let thy fountain be blessed, and rejoice with the wife of thy youth." So this can go many manifolds. It goes into us dealing with the other nations versus dealing with us, our own people. And it's also going into us obtaining the understanding of other nations. So yeah, this is a great, great precept. Verse 19, "Let her be as the loving hind and pleasant roe. Let her breast satisfy thee at all times, and be thou ravished always with her love." So we know that the Most High God compares these things to doctrines, and these things are also literal as well, dealing with your own people, the own sisters of your nation. Great, great precept. Great precept. You said you in Brooklyn, but oh yeah. So I know you seeing that madness out there. Yeah, don't even pay it no mind. Like we say, we should be worried about keeping our dedication, man. Don't even worry about that. Because brews do got to stay in the spirit. But other than that, how was brothers and sisters dedication? I'm gonna tell you, man, ain't no party like a battle axe party, man. You have to kick brothers and sisters up out of the building, man. I ain't gonna even lie. I have to literally tell them, no, cut that music off. Like that one pastor talking about close them doors. No, open them doors. And he said, well, no, I said open them doors. Brews have to be kicked up out of there. Shalom, Sister Genesis. Shalom, shalom, y'all done. Shalom, Ox. Even like, hey, y'all see Officer Bird Cobb, man. I'm talking about dancing all night. Him, Captain Maccabees, Captain Jerobal. I'm talking about Soul Train line. Non-stop, man. Sister Genesis, she had the throw out. Says, brothers and sisters had a great, great time, man. Talking about a great, great time. So we want to make sure that brothers and sisters are constantly doing what? Dedicating their temple back to the Most High. And the thing is, man, we don't just stop at the end of dedication, man. We want to persevere this thing through to Passover, you know, as we springing up, you know. We want to keep that same energy, man, because brothers and sisters in the spirit last night, you know, we want to continue with that. Because us as leaders, you know, we always checking for brothers and sister spirits to make sure like who being standoffish, you know, who's sitting around secretly grudging against one another. We watching those things, man, as being a watchman. Yeah, like Brother Magic said, keep that thing going all year round. Yeah, they don't expire, and we should never stop dedicating our lives back to the Most High. You got Brother Azariah, his wife, they catered the food, man, did a wonderful job, man. Shouts out to House of Azariah. Did a great job. Him and his daughters, because I got a lot of daughters. They was up in there dancing up a storm, you know, so we had a great time. I'm talking about a great time, man. So much food, brothers and sisters was steady. Packing 2 lunch. And I know, like brothers and sisters know, I'm always trying to give everything away. If it's a stick of butter out there, I'm trying to tell brothers and sisters, take that thing home. Yeah, he doing good. Captain Maccabee's doing good, man. You should have seen him last night, you know. So he was out there dancing. You know, Captain Maccabee's all on the phone, all on the microphone. You have to take the microphone for Ak, man. Yeah. I got a lot of daughters. But yeah, had a great time, man. But yeah, he doing all right, man. Thanks for asking. I'll let brothers and sisters know. I know you probably chime in here from time to time. But we want to make sure that we're always dedicating our temple back. Like I said, that's why we love to just read over Maccabees for the last dedication, and make sure that brothers and sisters understand that history, you know, that our bodies are a temple. You know, this thing is heavy. Let's get that in 1 Corinthians. That's what I want. Christ kept the feast of dedication. We pray that brothers and sisters kept that as well too. Remember, Christ is the example. He's the example that we should follow. Brothers and sisters have to understand the spiritual meaning behind that as well too. I'll read this one. This is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 19. And it reads, what? Know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Ghost, which is in you, which ye have of God, and ye are not your own. We have to remember that our bodies are a temple. That's the spiritual aspect about rebuilding the temple, dedicating yourself back to the Most High, because our body is a temple. You don't want to put unclean things in your temple. That's the way you should be with your body, whether it's carnal things or whether it's spiritual things, eating unclean foods, eating on a spiritual level, unclean doctrines, because all these things go hand in hand one with another. It says, verse 20, for ye are bought with a price. Therefore glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which are God's. Remember, these bodies don't belong to us. They don't belong to us. So when the Most High God gets these temples back, man, the Most High God wants them the way that he gave us out. that he gave it out to us. We bought with a price, man. We have to understand these things, man, and apply these things in our everyday lives. Let's jump over. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 16. Know ye not that ye are the temple of God, and that the Spirit of God dwelleth in you? If any man defile the temple of God, him shall God destroy. For the temple of God is holy, which temple ye are. So we have to understand our temple should be holy. What makes us holy? Keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments. That's what makes us holy. A lot of times, brothers and sisters love to add and put their own spin on what is holy. No, let's just read what the scriptures say is holy, and then just apply it to our lives, man. That's it. Let's go to the book of Romans, chapter 7 and verse 12, the classic. This is the book of Romans, chapter 7 and verse 12. Wherefore the law is holy, and the commandment holy, and just and good. So once we put the laws in our temple, that's what makes our temple holy, by combining that with faith as well, because faith without works is what is dead. Shalom, brother Oscar. How you doing, It says Shalom, holy brother, to the council about us. Great teaching, saints of the Most High. Shalom, Mark. Shalom. Brothers and sisters, got any questions out there? Any questions? I want to make sure, like we say, brothers and sisters are not being corrupted with doctrines. We know it's a lot of false doctrines out there. All nations can be saved, salvation. Yeah, that's utter and total madness. It says, well, we know when the 1/3 is sealed. Well, it's a number of things that have to occur before that, sis. One of the main things is, let's read it. Let's go to the book of Revelation, one of my favorite chapters. It's the book of Revelations, chapter 7 and verse 1, and it reads, and after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. So we see where the Most High God has these 4 angels. Is it literal 4 angels? No. Remember, 4 is just a number of completion. He has a set amount of angels holding back the winds of destruction before he can get his people sealed. 144,000 and the 1/3 of the elect. Verse 2. And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads. So we know that the Most High God, manifold prophecies happening at one time. Remember, these things are going to just be overlapping each other. So one of the things that we'll kind of be able to measure is by the destruction of the bombs. We know as soon as those things actually start to happen, we know around that time that the Most High God's elect are sealed. That's when we can kind of picture when these bombs drop, because it's telling us by default, because these things ain't happen, we know that the Most High God is doing what? Still sealing up the 144,000 and the 1/3 of the people. Just like how we always teach, brothers and sisters, you can understand certain things by the lack of things that are happening thereof, and kind of measure the times within that. Just like we know we're in the 5th seal, getting ready to go into the 6th seal. How do we know that? Because we know that those bombs haven't dropped yet. So it's going to be manifold prophecies happening at once as well, and just overlapping each other. You understand that, Sister Genesis? Even when we jump down, when we read 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel, then we jump down to verse 9, what Christians love to abuse. And after this, I beheld, and lo, a great multitude. Who's that great multitude? Jacob. Other Israelites, men, women, and children that are not of the 144,000. And there's various precepts on that. And after this, I beheld a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and peoples and tongues, stood before the throne, and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. So Christians will take that. Oh, see, out of number of all nations. Remember, Israel was scattered among all nations. So those are the Israelites that are coming out of those nations. How do we know that? Second Ezra. John was pulling this from Ezra. It's literally pulling this from Ezra. Let's go to the book of Second Ezra, chapter 2. This is the book of Second Ezra, chapter 2, and verse number 38, and it reads, Arise up and stand. Behold the number of those that be sealed in the feast of the Lord, which are departed from the shadow of the world, and have received glorious garments of the Lord. Saying the same thing we literally just read in Revelation chapter 7, verse 9. This is a precept that y'all need to have. Take thy number, O Zion. Zion is another name for Israel. He's telling you who that multitude is. And shut up those that are clothed in white, which have fulfilled the law of the Lord. How can this be other nations when they teach that the law is done away with? Most High God is letting us know the people that are being sealed have fulfilled the law of the Lord, meaning they have kept it. Verse 41, take thy number, the number of thy children whom thy longest for is fulfilled. The number of what children? O Zion. It's showing you, it's giving you the audience. Whom thy longest for is fulfilled. Beseech the power of the Lord that thy people, which have been called from the beginning, may be hallowed. Verse 42, I, Ezra, saw upon the Mount Zion a great people, whom I could not number, and they all praised the Lord with songs. And in the midst of them there was a young man of a high stature, taller than all the rest, and upon every one of their heads he set crowns. And was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly, going into Christ. So I asked the angel and said, Sir, what are these? And he answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the moral clothing, and have put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of God. Now they are crowned and receive palms. Then I said unto the angel, What person is that crowneth them, and giveth them palms in their hand? So he answered and said unto me, It is the Son of God, whom they have confessed in the world. Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord. So we see that this great multitude is going into who? Going into the children of Israel. Even when you read over to chapter 3, book of Second Ezra, chapter 3, and verse number 16, and it reads, And unto him thou gavest Isaac, and unto Isaac thou gavest Jacob and Esau. As for Jacob, thou didst choose him to thee, and put by Esau. And so Jacob became a great multitude. This is plain. But going back to Sister Genesis' initial question, once we see those bombs start, that's around the realms on how we know that 144,000 and 1/3 of our people keeping the commandments. You understand that, Sister Genesis? Abraham said, would the plague that John the Revelator seen happen in that order, or is it like in different orders? So when John the Revelator is writing the book of Revelations, this is not in order, not in order at all. So you have, and a lot of times when you read the book of Revelations, they saying the same things in different ways. So chapter 6 kind of is repeated in chapter 9. Chapter 17 is kind of repeated in chapter 19 and 18. So no, remember the book of Revelations is not in chronological order at all. Everyone's saying, do y'all have classes about the seals and the horses, Revelation 6? You should know we got classes on them, huh? Yes, Sister Jenna. Yeah, stay in that therapy, sis. That kind of It helps goes a long way with you kind of controlling your emotions about that. Because I'm gonna tell you, Sister Jenna, ain't nothing gonna change until you get your own place. You know, you really can't control what your mom does up in the house. I mean, she's grown. You know, she's a grown woman. Hey, she is doing those things for her own particular reasons, whether they are right or wrong. But ultimately, ain't nothing gonna change until you get your own places. Sister Genesis said, not a question, just a statement. Reading Maccabees 6:46 again, this time it just hit me that this Eleazar was the brother of Maccabees. Never registered that before. In Second Maccabees, the elder that died. Let me see. Remember, because it was many people. Eleazar, that's a popular name. Very popular name. So when we jump over to First Maccabees chapter 2. So we see, yes, one of Judas Maccabee's brother is called Eleazar. This is the book of First Maccabees, chapter 2, and verse number 1. In those days arose Mattathias, the son of John, the son of Simeon, a priest of the sons of Jorib from Jerusalem, and dwelt in Modin. And he had 5 sons, Johanan called Caddis, Simon called Thassi, Judas who was called Maccabees, Eleazar called Aravan, and Jonathan whose surname was Aphus. So we jump over to Second Maccabees, chapter 6, in verse, what'd you say, 6? 6 and Second Maccabees 6 and 46. Because it stopped at 31. Or was you talking about First Maccabees 6? Yes, sis. The book of First Maccabees, chapter 6, verse 43. Eleazar, also named Salakia. Eleazar, also surnamed Saravan, perceiving that one of the beasts armed with royal hornets was higher than all the rest, supposing that the king was upon him, put himself in jeopardy to the end he might deliver his people and get a perpetual name. So, yeah, sis. I'm thinking you was talking about in Second Maccabees, Yeah, so make sure brothers and sisters, like we say, First Maccabees 2 and 5 with it. First Maccabees, a brother who the elephant fell on. Verse 46, which done, he crept under the elephant and thrust him under and slew him. Whereupon the elephant fell down upon him, and there he died. Yeah, you have to type it in specifically. Battle Axis 6 seals. You have to type that in because I know we done did classes over Revelations chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4. It ain't too many that we haven't done chapters on. Chapter 17, chapter 18, chapter 19. It ain't too many that we haven't done on. I don't think I have done one specifically on chapter. Let me look at it right quick on chapter 9. But I know we covered like chapter 6, going into the nukes, going into those different seals. And so on and so forth. Yeah, you have to type in Battle Axis 6 seals. Type in something around that. But I know a lot of times with YouTube, if you don't type the exact title, it can be hard to track it down. But yes, we most definitely have a class on the breakdowns of the 6 seals. I know I ain't just too long not did one, maybe a few months, a lot of months ago, maybe 6 months ago. And last can remember. But yeah, we most definitely have a breakdown. Yeah, all praise. Yeah, you have to type that title in specifically. A lot of times you won't be able to find it. Yeah, come out. Because I know like 18, 19, we done did a few on. But I know we'll start going into it a lot more as we are seeing prophecies unfold more and more. Let's get there. Second Ezra chapter. What is that I want? Not 9. I'm gonna read verse 9, but I'm looking for something else. This is the book of Second Ezra, chapter 9, and verse number 1, and it reads: He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the earth which he made. So when we start to see these prophecies being unlocked, these certain seals being unlocked, tracking these things, how do we track these things? We measure these things by the times and the things that are happening in the world. That's one of them, but it's another one that I'm looking for. I'm gonna keep reading this though. Lord's will, the most I put it back on my spirit to remember. Then shalt thou understand it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when thou shalt be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then thou shalt well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the beginning that were before thee, even from the beginning. So as we start to see these prophecies being unlocked, these seals being unfolded, we'll know and be able to measure the times by what we see in the scriptures, seeing how the scriptures are going in chronological order, be able to break these things down. And guess what? We know how we need to, get your spirit more and more in line as we see that day coming, man. Because remember, Christ is coming like a thief in the night. It's coming like a thief in the night. Go to the book of Sirach, chapter 39. That's what I want. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 39, and verse 1, and it reads, But he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancients, and be occupied in prophecies. And that's what we need to be occupied in, the prophecies being unfolded. Why? Because these things put us up on game. For lack of better words, these things keep us ahead of a game. These things keep us prudent as a nation of people. The word prudent means to be what? Always looking into the future. As we're growing up, getting more and more understanding, we need to be measuring the times with what we see in the scriptures, man. And getting our spirits in order according to those things, man. We have new brothers and sisters in the truth, but hey, you're gonna have to go on and grow up, man. Study, get your spirit right, get in order with the Most High. That's what this thing is all about. That's exactly what it's all about. Now, I put up in there Luke chapter 21, 25 through 28. But yeah, I was looking for the second Ezra chapter 39. Make sure y'all precept those things. Because you have Sirach kind of going into it, then you have Ezra going into it as well. Measuring the times with the prophecies, man. So yeah, we know that we're in what seal? We're in the fifth seal. How do we know that? Because by default, the bombs have not dropped. So we are in the fifth seal. Let's go to the book of Revelations chapter 6. brothers and sisters, we love going into Revelations. A lot of Christians, they are scared and afraid to go into it, but brothers and sisters love these things, man. It's the book of Revelations, chapter 6 and verse number 12, and it reads, "And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood." So when the sixth seal was opened, you have John the Revelator describing disasters going on and taking place during this particular time, saying a great earthquake, the sun became as black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. So he's describing something on a grand scale. Verse 13, "And the stars of heaven fell into the earth." What are the stars being referred to? Being referred to the thermonuclear weapons, because when it goes off, it's like a bright star that goes off in the sky. It says, "And the stars of heaven fell into the earth, even as a fig tree casted her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. And the heaven departed as a scroll." Now he's showing the after effects of what takes place after a nuke's hit. We all seen it. Let's pull it up. Let's get some visuals, man. Let's get some visuals. I know how we do it. On the kind of home in the point. Let's see if we could see something. This is a pretty good one. See if we can get this one. So we see when you see these things going off, look how bright this thing is. It's like a bright star that's on the earth. This is literally putting the visuals to what John the Revelator is saying. Because remember, during the time of John the Revelator was about 94 AD. They didn't have understanding of what this was. So he's best explaining the visions that he see with the words that he had of that time. Let's keep reading. The book of Revelations, chapter 6 and verse 13, and it reads, "And the stars of heaven fell into the earth, even as a fig tree casted her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. And the heaven departed as a scroll." And that's what you see. When the nuke drops, it's like a scroll being unraveled. It says, "When it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places." Meaning it's going to be so many bombs go off, it's going to shake the earth off its axis. That's going into that great earthquake with that atomic force. When it hits the ground, all the dust throws back up to cover the moon, to cover the sun. Also going to be blood with it. It's going to be a lot of destruction, man, when it comes in that day, man. A lot. Let's keep reading. Verse 15. "And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman and every free man hid themselves in dens and in the rocks of the mountains." Now, what is this going into? It's going into those bunkers that they have. It's going into those atomic bunkers, man. Let's pull it up. Yeah. Be back in about an hour. Nuke bunkers and what's up real quick. So we see these things. This is what they're gonna be hiding in, man. Try to get a good one. Let's pull this thing up. I'm talking about exactly what the scriptures are saying, man. And don't think they elites. They know these things. They totally understand. They totally understand what's going on. That's why we always tell our brothers and sisters when we out there, these bunkers are not for us. You know, these things are not for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. I'm gonna tell you, even in that time, the black of the elite, they're gonna be in for a world surprise too if they don't get that text that people get when it's a world disaster. Think about it. When brothers and sisters was watching that movie, what was it called? Where they had like the second flood. Kind of like that movie too. Damn, what was the name of that movie? Who? Not that. Not the Day of Tomorrow. Damn, what is that one? It's a pretty good movie too. Yeah, John Cusack. Dang, what is the name of that movie? But we see these things. These are what they're going to be hiding in. The chief men, the mighty men hid themselves in the dens of the mountains. Yeah, 2012. That movie right there, when the high elites, they had to pay this amount of money, billions of dollars to get a ticket. Then you see some of them didn't even get to make it. You know, so just imagine. We don't have many billionaires out there. Think about it, man. You give a damn what they say you are. Those things are not for our people, man. So we see how these things are going to unravel, man. We totally see. Now, not the knowing, but 2012 Con. But imagine, yeah, got them. That was a pretty good movie, man. Pretty good one. Yeah, Yuri the Russian. That's right. I remember Yuri. He got that text. He was at a boxing fight. Like many brothers and sisters watching with that Jake Paul. They get that text. He just get up and leave, man. You know something going on, man. Come on, man. Shortly left behind. And guess what? He still didn't make it. He paid all that money and they still weren't gonna let him on. He tried to Bogart. And in the end, he saved his sons, but he lost his life. You know, so come on, man. It's gonna be much, much worse. Revelation chapter 6, verse 15. How are the heathen free men? Let's read that right quick. Let's read that. Revelation chapter 6, verse 15, and it reads, and the kings of the earth. Remember, the kings of the earth is just going into the rulers and the powers that be. The presidents, people in Congress, kings, Saudi Arabian kings, the leaders and the powers that be. It says, and great men. Great men makes reference to your congressmen, your mayors and so forth, people that are up on a higher up echelon. It says, and the rich men, we see the rich men, the chief captains is going into your army officers. And the mighty men is going into men that are in special forces. Because remember, they still gonna have to and need a security presence, a army. It says, and every bondman and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains. That's just going into other people, going into mainly, like I was saying, other Edomites. You know, because remember, their job is to preserve their nation of people. That's why we always tell brothers and sisters, they not to an extent on a grand scale taking a lot of black people. When it says this bondman, yes, they'll keep some of us around to keep us in those servitude positions, because they still gonna need help after that. So they'll keep some of us around, But it ain't gonna be to the extent that we thinking. They keeping us just around to be bondmen and to be in a servitude position. But that freeman is just making reference to other Edomites that are not in those positions because they still need to rebuild their society or what they think. Yeah, for real. When she kept that dog, Esau be crazy. That's how they be thinking for real, man. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, we love our animals too. But when it comes to your pets in a person's life, I mean, come on, man. People over animals. Come on. It is what it is. But we know, hey, Esau, boy, say, they ain't trying to hear that, man. But I know my wife sometime, boy, we still had our dog, Judah. No, take me, Lord. He loved Judah, boy. I'm talking about love the hell out of Judah. I like them too, but I ain't putting them over no person. We're saying, brother Lamar, talking about that pet better learn to roll. He better learn to dog. He better learn to hold his breath for a long time. So, bro, they go crazy. I know they do, especially in New York, man. I know they go crazy over them pets, man. They ain't say them pets is one of the families. And I understand. But hey, we want to be realistic. When it's a disaster on a grand or world scale, come on, man. You got to stop playing the games, man. Judah better come on. He better bring his butt on, man. Gonna get left. But yeah, we will most definitely start touching on more of these seals and kind of reiterate those things, especially for new brothers and sisters that are in the class. But a lot of that, like we said, Revelation chapter 18, chapter 19, going into chapter 19, the marriage. Yeah, you already know that squad tight for real. That squad tight as hell, man. Any other questions for brothers and sisters, man? I really do hope that y'all had a great, great feast of dedication, man. Hope that brothers and sisters stand in the spirit, man. We don't say that lightly because we can say that, and a lot of times these things still go over brothers and sisters' head. They still gonna say down what he said. I'm gonna still stay in the spirit that I want. Who the hell are you to tell me that? We not saying that. We just messages for the Most High, man. Brothers and sisters better cut that evil speaking, bitterness type spirit on and move forward in the Lord. Because even Christ said it, man. If you offend one of his little ones, man, you're gonna have a problem to pay, man. You rededicating your temple back to the Most High. You shouldn't want to do nothing off from what you did that last year, man. We just constantly grow, man. I guess how I gotta be sometime, man. I said he was by himself doing the feast. I totally understand it. At least you kept it out. Shalom, brother Demirs. How you doing, out? Shalom, out. At least you kept it, man. That's all that matters, out. Like we say, being an example like Christ was, how he kept it according to John chapter 10, verse 22. You already know how we do, man. Got some more trivia Bible questions, man. Nah, that's too easy right there. I'm going to read over that. I'm going to read it. I'm going to see who can get it quick. This is going into who said this. Who said this phrase? They say them dogs searching for a savior and blessings and licking wounds. They are. And they ain't seen nothing yet. Yeah, that's right. And that's all we need is the Most High. I'm going to start with this. This is question number 1. In what book does it say the first chariots were red horses, and in the second chariot, black horses, and in the third chariot, white horses? Book, chapter, verse. Shalom, brother Stephen. How you doing, huh? Brother Stephen was up in there dancing, man. Y'all know Brother Stephen, very active. Brother Stephen, the elder. Shalom, I'm glad to see you in here. Trivia question, brothers and sisters. I'm gonna read it again. In what book of the Bible is said in the first chariot were red horses, and in the second chariot black horses, bless you, and in the third chariot white horses? That's an easy one. Brothers and sisters should know that. That's too easy. It'll be a little nice tonight. I mean, just a little. Book, chapter, verse. Brother Bourne said on the tip of his tongue, wait, I need that money to be on the tip of your fingers and type it in. Come on, man, with the precepts. Come on. Where Bruce at, man? Twins, where y'all at, man? Bilal, where you at? Brother Renard, where you at? So on and so forth. Officer Barakai, where you at? Mama Raya, where you at? Sister Genesis. Like I said, they still hung over from last night. Still strung over from last night. Having a great, great time. Mama Raya was in there dancing. You know, and I ain't gonna lie, it was a beautiful thing to see. So yeah, brothers and sisters in the garments, you know, looking like royalty. So real beautiful thing to see. Fringes swinging and banging. I'm going to read it again. In what book of the Bible is said in the first chariot were red horses, and in the second chariot, black horses, and in the third chariot, white horses? Easy, y'all. Y'all should know this. I got to give it to y'all. Sister Mary Houston, my sister with a sis. I know the junior eyes probably done told you. And little sis, see, right on time. Brother Lamar, now, that kind of precepts with that, but it stems from Zechariah chapter 6. So, Sister Mary, I'm talking about sis right on time. Zechariah, good job, sisters. Zechariah chapter 6, verse 1 through 3. Come. This is the book of Zechariah chapter 6, verse 1. And I turned and lifted up mine eyes and looked and said, behold, there came 4 chariots out from between 2 mountains, and the mountains were mountains of brass. And the first chariot were red horses. So we know that in the scriptures, Sister Jessica said she was all in Revelations. Now remember, it does precept with Revelations, but the starting point, the foundation is Zechariah. Yeah, you was close, Brother Lamar, because this is a breakdown we have done before, and we no, not Daniel out. Yeah. So we know that chariots, they represent strength. They also represent spirits running to and fro in the earth. So the Most High God has these spirits color coordinated. We know that red horses symbolize who? Esau, murder, wickedness on the earth. We understand that what black represents affliction. We understand white represents righteousness. Verse number 2, in the first chariot were red horses, and in the second chariot, black horses, and in the third chariot, white horses, and in the fourth, grizzle and bay. Going into what? Manifold prophecies coming out, manifold spirits coming out. Verse 4, then I said unto the angel that talked with me, what are these, my Lord? And the angel answered and said unto me, these are the 4 spirits of the heavens, which go from standing before the Lord of all the earth. So the Most High God sent these particular type of spirits out to, guess what? To bring us to the coming of World War III. Sent these murder spirits out that's up under Esau. Sends affliction out that we're up under those curses. Then he sent out eventually those white horses going into those righteousness. You know. Yeah, that's right. A lot of this stuff is these spirits are in the earth right now, man. Remember, a lot of times these prophecies, remember, they overlap each other. They totally overlap each other. Let's do another one right quick. Another phrase. Who said this? I was no prophet, neither was I a prophet's son, but I was a herdman and a gatherer of sycamore fruit. This is a good one too. Who said this? I was no prophet, neither was I a prophet's son, but I was a herdman and a gatherer of sycamore fruit. Who said that? That one, it kind of is, sis. What you mean, that first one? I didn't think that first one was hard. Maybe this one is hard. Which one you talking about, Sister Genesis? I think you was kind of thinking in the right place, especially with Revelations. Because I know we use that precept to break those things down. Because it's going into similar. That's literally what it was pulling it from, but the foundation. Not Gideon. Oh, this one. Oh, yeah. Now, this one, I think when I heard this, was asked this question. Not Gideon. I think it was. I can't remember if I got it right. I think I did get it wrong, too. Oh, Brother Lamar said this one is a hard one. Let me read it again. In what book of the Bible is said, oh, who said this? I was no prophet, neither was I a prophet's son, but I was a herdman and a gatherer of sycamore fruit. Come, Brother Stephen got that mud. Amos chapter 7. Brother Stephen got it. Let's read that right quick. Amos chapter 7 and verse 14. And it reads, Then answered Amos and said to Amaziah, I was no prophet, neither was I a prophet's son, but I was an herdman and a gatherer of sycamore fruit. And the Lord took me as I followed the flock. And the Lord said unto me, Go, prophesy unto my people Israel. So remember, Amos, he wasn't raised in the understanding of the scriptures. He knew about the word, but the Most High God did what? He still chose him. Told him, say, go, prophesy to my people. And guess what? Amos did that. He did that, man. He did what he was commanded. You buffering, Mama Ra? Yeah, Amos, come. Brother Abraham, he said, I was saying Amos because in chapter 1, verse 1, he said he was a herdman, come. A lot of times y'all go to the beginning of the chapters and it kind of gives you the on who they were, their sons, what occupation that they did, or their title, for lack of better words. Oh, Sister Mary Houston said that one was hard. Con, all praise. Yeah, even when we start up at 1 verse 1, this is the book of Amos, chapter 1, verse 1, the words of Amos, who was among the herdmen of Tekoa, which he saw concerning Israel in the days of Uzziah, king of Judah, and in the days of Jeroboam, the son of Joash, king of Israel, 2 years before the earthquake. We see that it was a great, great earthquake. It's making reference to in the book of Zechariah as well. So yeah, that was a good haul. And now Bruce have it locked in. It says, what'd you say, Brother Steve? I'm not taking a phone from hand. Did I read that wrong? Another question. There's another one. Who said the lofty looks of man shall be humbled, and the haughtiness of men shall be burned down? Who said that? Who said the lofty looks of man shall be humbled, and the haughtiness of men shall be burned down? Who said this? Who said the lofty looks of man shall be humbled, and the haughtiness of men shall be bowed down, and the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day? Who said this? Come, Brother Abraham got it. Isaiah chapter 2. What verse? I need a verse. Brother Stephen got Isaiah Khan. Brother Lamar said, dang. What verse? I need a verse. I need a verse. Like I say, love to do these trivia questions that show, like we said, brothers and sisters really kind of know that history. Because these may be key things you may need to know. Khan, verse 11. You know, brothers and sisters may have a question concerning these things, and it's just always good to know the details of these things. There's certain details that I need to get more familiar with myself, you know. So any brothers and sisters have any other questions? Let's see. Sister Mary Houston, Isaiah chapter 2, verse 11. Any more precepts? Any more questions before we get out of here? I'm looking for. No, we did that one. Yeah, go ahead. What did Paul say? Yeah, go ahead. Ask your question right quick. Before we get up out of here. Like I said, it wasn't going to be a long Q&A. Just want to make sure, like we say, kind of reiterate with the Feast of Dedication. Like we say, coming to an end. But it still doesn't mean you stop dedicating yourself to the Most High, you know, and not rebuilding your temple unto the Lord. Like I said, I read in the prologue of Nehemiah that in our old Bible, Nehemiah wasn't a book. It was actually Ezra. What do you think about that? Well, I don't. You know, I just kind of agree with what the Bible says, and I kind of look more into it. But I know it's not by mistake that Nehemiah has his own book, as well as Ezra. You know, and they pretty much saying the same things. You know, we know that Ezra was a priest, Levitical priest. We know that Nehemiah was like the muscle. You know, so I know it's told from his account, and we need the account of Nehemiah because Nehemiah didn't play the games when it came to getting our people back in order. You know, he was a real strong man of the Lord. So, yeah, exactly. And that's kind of how I take it out. You know, it's in the scriptures, so kind of go with that. Remember, man, this is the power of the Most High. If he didn't want something in there, it wouldn't be in there. You know, so these things are in there for a reason. You know, totally. Any other questions before we get up out of here? Man, I hope brothers and sisters stand in the spirit, man. Hope they are overcoming your sins, throwing up prayers for one another, fasting, reading. Those are some of the things that, hey, me myself need to do more of. You know, a lot of times brothers and sisters think we may be getting on brothers and sisters, but I get on myself first. You know, a lot of times when I'm speaking these things are aimed at me. You know, so I understood the question as I was typing that question. Yeah, Khan. So remember, man, it starts with us first, man. You know, we can't be one to be an example if we're not a good example to ourselves. So just always kind of keep that in mind. Brothers and sisters, y'all put a law up in the chat, man. Hope Lord's will, brothers and sisters, have a good day at work tomorrow. Staying in the spirit, not letting this wicked holiday spirit jump on y'all, catching y'all selves when your damn co-workers trying to tell you Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's and all that crazy nonsense. Catch yourself, you know, and move forward. That's how you know if you're really in the spirit. If you're not able to let them catch you off guard, you know. Put some laws in the chat for me, man. Put some laws in the chat. I know what I'm gonna put. I love that Zechariah chapter 8, verse 17. I want to read this. I want to make sure that brothers and sisters are following suit. This is the book of Zechariah, chapter 8, and verse number 17. This is something that brothers and sisters need to meditate on. And let none of you imagine evil in your hearts against his neighbor. We have to make sure that brothers and sisters are staying in the spirit. Because a lot of times your mind can overthrow what's going on and play tricks on you. Don't imagine evil in your hearts against your neighbor unless you know that it's true. You can't say that a brother did something or a sister did something if you don't have proof that they actually did it. We cannot do that. A lot of times this is how relationships are, guess what, just broken. Because a lot of times brothers and sisters are going by how they feel other than what is real. You cannot imagine evil against your brother, your sister. You may not get along, but the thing is, the Bible tells us even in fact on how to reconcile that relationship. Apply Matthew 18 and 15. We got a problem with a brother or sister. Talk to the brothers and sisters. Y'all make and get over those things and move forward. It's our job to be the example to show brothers and sisters that we may have contentions with each other, but that don't stop us from loving one another and showing hospitality to one another. But the scriptures is clear that you cannot imagine evil in your hearts against your brother or your neighbor. Can't do that, man. You cannot, and we cannot do that. Zechariah chapter 8, verse 17, again from the top. And let none of you imagine evil in your hearts against his neighbor, and love no false oath. Hey, don't love a false oath, man. Somebody saying something that's not true and you running with that thing like it's, guess what, of the Most High. No, you can't do that. And our people play these games to where you know it's not true and you will try to convince yourself that it is. That's wicked as hell. It says, love no false oath. For all these are things that I hate, saith the Lord. So you have a brother or sister thinking ill will about your brother or your sister for an unjust cause. That's wrong. And the Most High God doesn't take too lightly on that. Even like I put in Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 19. And it shall be, if thou do not forget all the Lord thy God and walk after other gods and serve them and worship them, testify against you this day that ye shall surely perish. So we want to make sure that we're not going after other gods, making sure that we're staying in the spirit of Feast of Dedication and not in that holiday. With that, give our honor and praises to the Most High and to his son Yahushua. Pray that brothers and sisters stay in the spirit. You're constantly trying to overcome your sins, man. And with that, say shalom.